Hey everyone, how are you guys doing? So I wanted to do a video on co-parenting because I had someone reach out to me about co-parenting and how you move on and how you find love again and get into a relationship. And before we go into that, that'll probably be another video about getting into a relationship. But I want to talk about co-parenting and how important it is to co-parent with the other half. Because it seems like a lot of people that I know have issues with co-parenting. So, hey Mike, how are you? Glad you're on. So co-parenting. The first thing to co-parenting is to forgive the other half. It does not matter if they cheated on you. It doesn't matter if they have manipulated you. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what they have done. You are out of the situation. You are in a better place. And ultimately, before you can move on with a guy or girl, you have to forgive your ex. Because a lot of times we carry that baggage that he did or she did to us, and we carry it into the next relationship, and we give it to that next person to deal with, and that's not cool. It's not cool to do, and trust me, I've done it. I have gotten into some amazing relationships, great people, and I have literally ruined relationships in the past because I have held the new person in my life accountable for what someone else in my past did. And so, don't do that. Don't bring your baggage and don't get into another relationship until you forgive that person. And also to co-parent, you have to forgive each other. You have to realize he wasn't perfect in the relationship, she wasn't perfect in the relationship, which ultimately led to you breaking up, divorcing, or whatever the case may be. And you cannot blame that person. I can sit here all day and bash my ex-husband. I can sit here and say what he did wrong, and that's not going to help the situation. At the end of the day, I'm stuck with him for 15 more years of my children's life. And I can either choose to live those 15 years of my life miserable, bitter, scorn, and feeling like he owes me. But I choose not to do that, because where is that going to get me? It's not going to get me anywhere but a miserable life. It's not going to get my kids anywhere but seeing mom miserable all the time, or seeing dad miserable all the time. So you have to figure out what works for you and your ex. And that is the hardest thing to figure out. But once you figure that out, you will be able to co-parent. Your life will be easier. His life will be easier. Her life will be easier. Whoever. Because oftentimes we get defensive. Oftentimes we feel that they've hurt us, and so we want to retaliate. And I've seen this with women and men, is the way to retaliate is use our children. And that's sad. That's very, very sad that men and women use our innocent, beautiful children to retaliate against the other half. Because no child should be put in the middle to retaliate against either parent. Because at the end of the day, they love mom and they love dad. And I tell my kids all the time, they'll say, Mom, why are you upset with Dad? And I said, hey, it's adult problems. Like, y'all don't need to worry about it. At the end of the day, Mom and Dad love you. So let me and Dad just figure it out. So just forgive your ex, because that's really ultimately what holds us back from forming that co-parenting relationship with them and being able to talk about the children, being able to do those things. And so another thing is, keep it about the kids. A lot of times, our exes, or you may be the one guilty of this, you want to know what your ex-husband's doing. You want to know what your ex-wife is doing. You want to know who they're seeing, who they're hanging out with, what they did. That doesn't matter anymore. You're not their husband. You're not their wife anymore. You're not their boyfriend. You're not their girlfriend. That has nothing to do with you. Unless it's affecting your children in a negative way, unless where they're taking your children is harmful to your children, unless who they're with is causing harm to your children, that is none of your business anymore. You gave that right up when you guys decided to break up. So leave that aspect out. A lot of people try to bring that in and say, well, where are you going? What are you doing this weekend? Who are you going out with? Da, da, da. They don't need to answer those questions to you. And so leave that aspect out. Now, you know, me and my ex-husband, we have a great understanding. I know where he resides. He knows where I reside. I have his contact numbers. He has my contact numbers. And, you know, we will, if he's taking my kids on a vacation, he will tell me he's taking my kids out of the state, or he will tell me he's taking my kids, you know, a couple hours away to enjoy a family vacation as a courtesy. And that's one of the biggest things, guys. You have to have respect for the other person. Even if they don't have respect for you, it's not a tit for tat. One of you have to be the bigger person. And one of you have to lead by example, because your children will see that. Your children will appreciate that in the long run. You know, my ex-husband, you know, he called me up a couple months ago and he said, hey, Jessica, I'm in town. I have a layover for a couple hours and I want to know if I can see the kids. My response was, you betcha. I will meet you. I will, you know, here's my address. Come to the house. We'll take the kids out together so they can have that mom and dad time. Not that we're getting back together, but we're at a point in our relationship as co-parents that we can go to dinner together. We can discuss what's going on in our children's lives together. We can take them to the park together. And our children can have that mom and dad time that they crave so much. But we respect each other. He has a girlfriend. She's an amazing person in my kids' life and in his life, and he's happy with her. So we respect boundaries. A lot of it is setting boundaries when you co-parent and respecting the other person. When you decide to get a divorce or to break up, you have to understand there's going to come a day when there is another man or another woman that's going to come in your kids' life. And they might be the stepmom. They might be the stepdad. And you have to accept that. You can't make the other person's life miserable because you don't want your children to have a stepmom or stepdad. In my case, my ex-husband has moved on. He has an amazing woman that is good to my kids, that takes the time with my kids when they are there, and treats them well. And I could not be more happy for my child or my children to have someone else in their life that loves them, that cares about them, that genuinely wants to hang out with them and be there for my children. Having another person love your children is amazing. Having another person for your children to go to is amazing. But why are we threatened when there's another man or woman in the picture? You shouldn't be. As long as they're not abusing your kids, as long as they're not hurting your children, as long as they are accepting and they're willing to be that stepmom or stepdad, because it's hard. I've been a stepmom. It is hard to be that step parent. So as long as they're willing to do that, I praise that person. I praise his girlfriend for taking on 5 children. That's a lot. That is a lot to accept. So, you know, a lot about co-parenting is respecting each other, giving each other boundaries, and accepting each other and forgiving each other. When you got divorced or you broke up, that past is in the past. I'm not going to bring up to their father, you did this to me, so now this is why I'm doing this to you, or you hurt me, so now I'm still going to hurt you for the rest of your life. No, because you're only hurting your children. And you have to sit down and have that uncomfortable conversation with your ex-husband, with your ex-girlfriend, with your ex-boyfriend, with your ex-wife, and talk to them about how you can co-parent with each other. Literally one day I called my ex-husband and I said, hey Mike, you know, I'm sorry. I said, I am sorry for the way that our marriage went down. I'm sorry for the way that our divorce happened. I know that I played a part in it. I know that you played a part in it. And I'm not here to blame you. I'm not here to talk negative to you. I'm not here to put you down. We both contributed to our divorce, and we both put these children through that pain of a divorce. Now, let's be the bigger people, and let's figure out how to get along for our children. Let's figure out how to co-parent together for our children. Because at the end of the day, what we put our kids through, we owe them that. We owe them for the next 15 years of our lives to get along, to not make them choose mom or dad. A lot of us want to teach our children, you got to choose to love dad or you got to choose to love mom. And that shouldn't be the case, because at the end of the day, if you do that, one of your children or all of them may go trying to search for daddy's love with all these men, may try to go search for mama's love with all these different women, and may make a bad decision along the way that could change their life forever. So as a parent, if you love your child, if you care for your child, you will put bygones be bygones, the past in the past, and you will have that adult conversation with your ex and say, how can we figure this out? I don't want to bring up other stuff. I don't want to blame you, but I want to talk to you, because the best interest for our children, we need to think about that. The other party may not be receptive. The other party may be shocked. The other party may not know what to say. You know, lucky for me, my ex-husband said, I agree, Jessica, and he apologized right back to me. And he said, I'm sorry. There may be times where he's not answering my kids' call. There may be times that he's not paying his child support. But I don't get on that phone, and I don't belittle him. I don't put him down. I don't harass him. I don't cuss him out, because at the end of the day, child support's getting handled by somebody else. So I don't need to talk to him about that. At the end of the day, if he's not answering those phone calls, all I can do is tell my children, hey, we tried calling daddy. We got a voicemail. I apologize. We'll try again. Maybe he's busy. Maybe he's in a meeting. I don't know. But just show your children you're putting that effort in for them to have that other parent in their life. Because kids need that. They need to see that. They need to be a part of that. And they need to feel like they can love mom and they can love dad too. You know, oftentimes we want, sorry guys, I'm working over here. Oftentimes we want to sit here and be like, well, you know, your dad's a bad piece of crap, or your mom, she's no good for nothing, and all those things. And we feed our kids and we mold them into what we want them to believe. And it's not the reality. And you may say, well, I'm telling you the truth. Well, that's the thing. There is your reality. There's my reality of what happened in my marriage. There is, hey, Steph, there is my ex-husband's reality of what happened in our marriage. There is my kids' reality of what happened as a child through those eyes during my marriage. And it doesn't mean my reality is wrong. It doesn't mean Mike's reality is wrong. And it doesn't mean my children's reality is wrong. What it means is we all have different perceptions and we all saw the marriage differently. And so I have to cater to my children what their reality was. I have to talk to my children about that. I have to talk to Mike about what his reality was, even if I don't believe it. And he has to talk to me about my reality, even if he doesn't believe it. Co-parenting is hard. Blended families is harder. I've been there. And so why do we want to fight for the rest of our lives? Why do we want to put our exes down for the rest of our lives? It's not going to get us anywhere. All it gets is you pissed off. Bottom line, it gets you pissed off. That's all it gets you. So at the end of the day, guys, really sit here and think about what you need to do, not what you want to do, because oftentimes co-parenting is not what you want to do, but it's about being the bigger person, and it's about having that relationship so your children can feel comfortable, confident, and respect what both of you are doing. It takes two very strong people to co-parent. It takes a lot of forgiving not forgetting, but forgiving. It takes a lot of patience, understanding. And, you know, my ex-husband and I didn't get here overnight. It takes time, but keep at it. Because now it's at a point where I can call my ex-husband and say, hey, you know, I need your help. I need you. I need you for these kids because it's something that's happening that's beyond me. And he's there. And he picks up the phone. And just if he called me and said, hey, I need help. I need, you know, when he came into town, he's like, I need help with the 5 kids. Can you come with me so you can help me with the 5 kids? I was on it because you know what? I want my kids to have every moment that they can with their dad because we live so far apart. Every moment that they can, I want them to have that because they deserve that. They deserve to have the other parent in their life. They deserve to be flexible, you know, and with me and my ex-husband, our schedule, yeah, we have court papers that say he gets them on this and that and whatever, but be respectful. If he is flexible and he's trying to see his children or she's trying to see his children, her children or whatever, work with the other parent. Don't say, well, court order says da-da-da-da-da-da. Work with the other parent because as they see you become flexible, they're going to become flexible. They're going to appreciate that you helped them out when they needed to. You're going to appreciate that she helped you out when you needed to. So I just think that it's all about respect. It's all about setting boundaries. And like I said, if there's another person, another party, if they're with somebody else, respect that person. As long as they're being good to your kids, be happy for that. Be glad they found someone that's going to accept your kids. Because that's not easy. And I think a lot of you that are parents, when we date, we figure out 5 kids might be too much for somebody. It's on every day. Someone's like, hey, I got 5 kids. You know, you want to date me? And here's my baggage. Go for it. You know, it's not easy raising 5 kids. And it takes a strong man to come into my life and handle my 5 kids and love them like their own. So if your ex has found someone and partner to love your children like their own, celebrate that. Tell your children. I tell my kids all the time. They say, hey, Mom, we've had a really good time with Nina, and she played hide and go seek with us, and she, you know, did arts and crafts with us. And I said, that's amazing, guys. I love that she did that with you guys. I love that you guys like her. I love that she's nice to you. Because I want my children to feel open with me, to talk to me about it. And another thing, don't drill your kids. Don't drill your kids. I don't sit here. I think it's the worst. One of the worst things you can do is sit here and drill your kids. Well, what'd you do at Daddy's? What'd you eat? Where'd you go? Who were you with? Who was all around you? Was she there? How long did she stay? Did she spend the night? Are her clothes over there? Don't do that. We are screwing up our kids by doing that. And if you love your son, your daughter, don't do it. It is not fair to them. It's not fair to them. And if you continue, as they get older, they will hate you for that. And you don't want to do that. You know, I live my life with my kids as I never want the other parent to be able to say, I didn't do, or I did not support my children, or I prevented that love for their father. I always want my children to say, Mom did everything she could to give us the opportunity to see our dad, to talk to our dad, to visit our dad, to spend time with our dad. Because a lot of times, men or women, say for instance, I was causing havoc in Mike's life. Say I was yelling at him every single time he called. Say when he came to see the kids, I was screaming and hollering. I'm ultimately going to push him away from his children. And the kids are going to blame me for that. And that's not fair because I decide to be crazy and Mike decides to, hey, back off because he doesn't like to fight and argue. And then he stops coming around because I'm this crazy mad woman. And then my kids wonder why Daddy doesn't come around. And a lot of women lie to their kids, or a lot of men lie to their kids and be like, oh, well, your dad doesn't come around no more because he doesn't love you. Or your dad doesn't come around no more because he doesn't want to be with you. No, your dad doesn't come around no more because you got a crazy mama or a crazy daddy that's always starting problems. And that would be us to blame. So even if I'm upset with Mike, I don't cause havoc in his life. I calm down. I'm like, it is what it is. I can't change him. He can't change me. But I will not allow my children to ever come to me and say, Mom, you prevented my dad from loving us. Mom, you prevented me from having a relationship with my dad. I will do everything in my power because I know how important it is for every child to have their mother's love and their father's love. And so you guys have to figure it out. And if you need help, and if you and your ex need help, message me. Drop a comment, co-parent, in the message line, and I will reach out to you guys and tell you a little bit more in depth of what me and Mike do. Because I can say honestly, I am proud where me and Mike are. I am proud that we have got this co-parent thing going. And honestly, like I would even invite his girlfriend over for holidays. I would invite them to games because we're at a point we can respect each other and I can respect his partner and vice versa. So, you know, it takes time to get there, but I think each parent owes it to their children to co-parent and to do it the right way without the anger, the animosity, the bitterness, and the arguing and the fighting and the screaming and stuff like that. And there's no reason to put your ex down anymore, you know. Even if you don't think your ex is a good person, even if you don't think your ex is deserving of love or caring, everybody's deserving of love. Everybody's deserving to have that one special person in their heart that loves them, that cares about them, that motivates them and enhances them in the right way and guides them in a positive way. So, you know, don't put your ex down anymore because that's not going to get you anywhere. And all you're doing is showing your child that you're belittling their parent, you're bullying their parent, and that's not right and it's not cool. So if you want more tips on co-parenting and you want to talk directly about co-parenting, just drop the comment co-parent in the message box and I will reach out to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will be back tonight talking to you guys about Pillow Talk with Chrissy. We'll be doing an update with Lauren. If you know about my last video with Chrissy, you'll know that Chrissy's trying to save a little girl, Lauren, who is going through a bad situation of abuse in her home. And my daughter has decided to stand up and protect Lauren. So when Chrissy gets home tonight, we will be doing a Pillow Talk update, probably about 9:30, 10:30-ish Arizona time. So Central Standard Time, it'll be about 10:30 that we will sit down and talk with me and Chrissy tonight and do a little update about Lauren and her story as it continues to develop a little bit more. So thank you for tuning into my broadcast. I hope you guys have an amazing Monday. And like I said, if you need any more information, please feel free to reach out to me. This is what I'm here for, living through my experiences and hoping that it helps each and every single one of you guys that may need help with divorce, parenting, starting over and finding love again, cooking, you know, anything that you guys need help with. So thank you so much. And by the way, this is day 3 hair gas. I've not washed my hair in 3 days. Seriously, can you see this? Like, it's beautiful. Monate products here, guys. Love, love, love Monate. This is day 3 of no wash. Hoping to get to day 5. Typically, I get to day 5 before I wash my hair. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Love you guys. I appreciate you guys supporting me with my videos and tuning in. And I will talk to you guys later tonight when Chrissy and I hop on here to do some Pillow Talk.